He'll be shut down. The rotation was for Cumberland, but St. Clair breaks through. Oh, Katie! Situation now 1-on-1, 1 HP on this solo. 1 bullet is a 4-person 1v5. Stand against the rest.
Guy to this ball, guy to get down, maybe even get one for the road.
Our own standards here in this overtime period, because if we can see the goal, it's over for them.
He's doing a lot of damage, but he's got to keep you over. He avoids the ego.
Bob Waena, no flash, no problem. St. Clair.
Reddick's taking down 2, taking down 1. Immediately, this should be all she wrote. Soaks with 1 on the icy.
Evan. Gotcha. Seconds, guys.
Fifteen seconds, guys. Starting in 10, guys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the St. Clair Esports Nexus. It's week 5 of the NACE Super Conference for Valorant, and we got a great matchup today. It's your St. Clair Saints taking on West Virginia University. It's going to be a great game today. My name is Evan, hosting the desk tonight. I got Lello with me as well. We are going to be your 2 casters for this evening. And Lello, like I said, it's going to be a great matchup tonight. Both of these teams coming in with something to prove tonight.
Oh, definitely. Both of the teams want to make a statement tonight. West Virginia, yes, they are 1-2 right now in the NACE Super Conference, and they definitely want to stabilize, get in a better position, so through the following weeks, rack up more wins and hopefully make towards playoffs, whereas our Saints were 2-1 currently, trying to get that 3rd win, get a pretty safe positioning, and just be able to go towards playoffs here. And our roster for tonight will be Taiga, Seth, Tillo, Instinct, and JP himself.
JP himself. I mean, this is a pretty usual comp for our St. Clair Saints. If you've been watching our Valorant streams, this shouldn't be anything new to you. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it in certain regards. You know, they did take that loss to Cumberland earlier in the NACE season, but all things considered, this lineup has been getting it done for St. Clair. Is there anybody tonight that you really think is going to have to step up to make a big play to potentially secure the win tonight?
I think we need to see a little bit more stability
of Instinct.
Maybe
on Duelist.
Instinct on Duelist. I would want to see like some big pop-off moments. These two teams were pretty even, I believe, in terms of skill. So just that one standout player will definitely lead us towards
Speaking of Instinct, it's ready.
Speaking of Instinct, we have him ready on an interview. He is going to be joining the show. Instinct, welcome to the show. How are we feeling tonight? All right, perfect. I mean, first question, obviously, the elephant in the room. You guys are coming off of a bye week. What is the best thing to you guys to just stay fresh after having a week where you have some time off to reset? What's the big thing you have to do to get reset?
Honestly, the reset itself was relaxing instead of practicing. Everybody got their time off. Everybody got the stress of school out of their heads, and we're back and we're ready to win.
I like that confidence. Now, looking on the other side, West Virginia, you know, they might be coming in with a bit of a chip off their shoulder because they got dog-walked by Maryville last week. So they might be coming in a little fiery, looking to get theirs back. So how do you guys have to prepare for a team that might be coming in a little bit more emotional and hot-headed like that?
I got 5 more leashes to walk them again. I don't know what to say.
Okay. I like that energy, though.
No, I definitely love that confidence. And speaking of that confidence, the preparation that you've put in these past weeks, yes, you said you've gotten rest, and we've been talking about just the school aspect of everything, but do you think you guys are fully prepared to play a team that statistically is about your level?
Hey, my coach always says, adapt or die, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to adapt to every situation we can, and we're going to do it with the utmost confidence.
Oh, 100%. Valorant is definitely a game of adaptation. What maps do you think you guys would really want to play against them, even if it's not your best ones, just something that you think you would have the most fun and do the best on?
Probably Lotus and Haven, as I'm on Neon for both. Probably just run around and, like you said before, walk them like dogs.
Yeah, no, we love seeing you run around. Even if you're not getting those kills, that impact that you have is just so monumental to your team gaining rounds. It's unbelievable to see.
Well, I think, unless you have any more questions, I think that is going to do it. Isaac, good luck tonight. Hoping for a good result. All the best to you.
Thank you very much. You guys have a good night. You'll have a good night watching as well.
Oh, thanks, man.
Thank you.
I love when the players always send it back to us and send that positivity back. But Isaac, obviously very confident tonight, and that's not a surprise. You know, if you've been watching these streams, you know that Isaac, you know, he is that guy to make that opening pick, you know, to find those big impact moments at the start of rounds. So like you said, gonna look for him to make big plays tonight, especially against a team that, you know, they have some players that are decent as well as us, you know, similar skill level in terms of, you know, like on paper comparisons, but it's going to be tough either way.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely have to work for a few rounds. I do believe West Virginia has that adaptability aspect to them, and as Instinct said earlier, adapt or die. As Seth said, adapt or die.
Adapt or die, indeed. You know, when he talked about Lotus as being a map that we might see tonight, the Saints, very good on Lotus. You would have to think if West Virginia has done their homework and reviewed the film of the Saints' recent matches, they would know that Lotus is something that they, you know, tend to pick. It's a bit of a comfort pick. You know, he talks about Haven, but that's a map that West Virginia has good stats on as well. So you feel confident on that sort of map, but maybe West Virginia has a game plan, you know, built around that, you know. So going to need some intelligent bans tonight, you know, just thinking about, you know, where you are, thinking about your opponents. So it's going to be a good one, at least on paper. You know, we won't talk about predictions or anything like that just yet. I do want to focus on West Virginia a little bit. We were reviewing the roster. They do have some guys, like you said, that are pretty big, you know, at least in terms of collegiate Valorant. Anybody on this list that really stands out to you? Who is somebody that the Saints are really going to have to try and shut down tonight?
I think Excite his utility usage and the way he's able to find some timings to get that scan initiator util out just to find positioning is sometimes insane to watch. There's some dart timings, some fade eye timings that he finds that no one's really expecting and no one's ready to break, so that will just give up so much information and give West Virginia the ability to work the map the way they want to.
And then when you look on the other side, you look at the Saints intel initiator in Tillo. That's usually the role that he fills. You know, he's going to have a tall task ahead of him if that's what West Virginia is going to be bringing to the table today. It's going to be this battle of the initiators. And, you know, it comes down to that. You know, you got your duelist as well. Instinct obviously going to be that entry duelist for St. Clair. Dinks on the other side for West Virginia. What do you know about him?
Dinks himself, not too much I know, but he definitely plays a lot of Raze and Neon. In this specific meta that we're in, Neon is especially strong. Yes, there's still a couple of Raze maps, but we're not going to see as much. It's mostly Yorus, Neons, sometimes Razes. But if he pulls out the Neon and is able to be as confident as Instinct himself was, then it'll be a pretty fun battle to watch.
And I think that's really where it comes down to, right? Like, we want to see these competitive maps where, you know, both teams are scrapping it out, and we're going to find out where they're going to scrap. And it looks like we are going to see Lotus indeed. The Saints map pick does come through. West Virginia deciding to go with Bind, a decider on Haven if we need it. Now, if you're a Saints fan, that is a little scary because last time we had a decider on Haven, it was that Cumberland match where Cumberland was able to mount that comeback. So if you're St. Clair, you're hoping to get it done into tonight with Bind being West Virginia's pick. How does that play into their strengths as a team?
I think with what West Virginia are trying to accomplish is forcing St. Clair off of lines, especially since we're starting defense first. The earlier that West Virginia is able to force us out of an advantageous spot for us, they're able to work those TPs on Bind, able to get those rotates, like stifle those rotates. They'll definitely want to try and just disrupt our entire defensive half and game flow, especially with Bind being a, in my opinion, defensive map. There's a lot that St. Clair can do, but there's still a lot that West Virginia can do back to them.
No, absolutely. And you know, the Saints do get their pick first. They are going to be starting on defense. So both of these first two maps, the Saints are going to be starting on defense. So we're going to get a good look at the attack that West Virginia is bringing to the table. And you know, you talk about the initiators that West Virginia has, their duelists. Those are really going to be the instances where they're going to shine on these early maps. So the Saints are going to have to make sure their defense is clean and stout early in these rounds to make sure that they can build up, you know, a lead potentially, because West Virginia, like we said, pretty even in terms of skill. So I feel like this one's going to be a dogfight all the way through.
Oh yeah, 100%. Something I definitely want to see coming from St. Clair is bringing out that Odin. If we're able to bring out that Odin earlier rather than later, it'll give Instinct so much room to work with on other sides of the map. That gun is just so incredibly oppressive, especially on that A line, or even if we're able to get onto the B line. It's just so oppressive that West Virginia is going to have to work so incredibly hard for that space, and they'll just have less and less util for the take, which is just only advantageous to St. Clair.
No, absolutely. And, you know, you look at Lotus as well, you know, still talking about St. Clair's defense. You want to talk about their attack on Lotus. That, I think, is really their strongest point. They're so good at running these fakes and making the rotations cleanly where they need to. We know they love the C push. You know how much they love to hold mounts. So West Virginia, like we said, they're going to have to be very careful about how much space they're giving St. Clair to make these rotations. And if they're able to cut them off and control the flow and the pace of the game, they should be in a good spot to steal a win off of a map that St. Clair really likes.
Oh, definitely. Something I would want to see coming from West Virginia is maybe that chamber. Some agent that's able to get on those really weird off angles and just give us a harder time would definitely be a good part of their game plan. But again, we have such a solid Lotus that I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. Yes, it'll trip us up. Yes, it could lose us some rounds, but all in all, adapt or die. We adapt, so we learn, and we win.
We learn and we win. I think that's a good mantra to live by. We're getting closer to game time every second that passes by. So I'll pass it back to you now. We'll talk about predictions now. We've hyped up West Virginia a lot. We're really hoping for a good series tonight, but what are your thoughts? How do you think this is going to go down?
In my opinion, it's really going to come down to which team's initiators are more effective and which team is able to work off of that initiator utility or the information that they get. I do believe St. Clair as a unit, they're really, really good and very talkative. When we're able to talk to each other, get that good communication going, it's just we get on a roll and just win so many rounds. So in my opinion, unbiased of course,
Obviously.
St. Clair win.
I was feeling the same thing. How many? Like, how many do we think? It's going to be a 2-0, a 2-1? What do you think?
I think it'll be a 2-1. I haven't, as we were talking about, the map picks, Bind being one of them, is definitely one of the lesser played maps for St. Clair. Yes, we would be able to 2-0, but if West Virginia are coming in with a more concrete plan, it'll definitely be harder.
I am thinking kind of the same as you. I do think it's going to be a 2-1. I think the Saints come out on Lotus. I think they're going to come out strong. I think they're going to make a statement on that map. Going into Bind, I think West Virginia is going to come back and even it up. I think it's going to be close, but I think they're going to pull away. You know, maybe we'll see some overtime on map 2. You know, maybe we're getting really specific on the predictions now, but I do think going to map 3, I think St. Clair is going to pull it out. But again, it's going to be tough all the way through. I think they're really going to have to compete and, you know, just fight tooth and nail to get this win. And the other thing, too, is that this is a really important part of the NACE season right now, because you look at the next 2 weeks, like this is a gauntlet right now with this part of the schedule. You have West Virginia this week, you have Winthrop next week, and then Maryville the following week. These are 3 really, really tough games. If you can come out of these next 3 weeks winning at least one of these games, that's putting you in a really, really good spot as you get closer to the end of the season.
Oh, definitely. Winning at least one at the end of this gauntlet, as you were talking about, would put us in a 4-3 position in the best of worlds. And again, just getting closer and closer to that playoff season for NACE is getting positive is definitely a high priority.
Well, I think that the Saints are going to shoot for a little better than 4-3, but obviously it's going to be one game at a time, and we're just about ready to get into this game in front of us. Should be in there soon. Like we said, it's going to be, hopefully, a very competitive series tonight. I think we're in for a treat tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The Saints, they've had a week to rest, and now they are back on stream, and we're looking to get a fantastic performance out of our Valorant team. They're ready to go, and I think we're ready to go in here.
Oh, 100%. We see Seth and Tilo there warming up their fingers, getting limber and loose. They're ready.
They're using those pre-fire hand warmers, do you think?
Oh, 100% they're using those pre-fire hand warmers.
We have been just so enamored by the pre-fire hand warmers at St. Clair. They really are fantastic. This isn't even a plug or anything. They really are that good. So, you know, shout out to Pre-Fire. Incredible ad, I might add. Just fantastic. You know, we always get a kick out of it when it plays on stream or in the Nexus. So just a fantastic product, and I'm sure the Saints are using it to the most effective of uses.
Getting closer and closer to game time. I'm excited. I want to see... Ooh, something I definitely want to see is an ace. I said this last week again. I want to see an ace coming out from our supportive players. Get one of those big moments for those players that don't usually get to shine is something that's always dear and near to my heart.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if we've had a Saints ace on stream this season yet. I know we've had a 4K for sure. I think we've had a couple of those.
Multiple 4Ks, yes.
Prod can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think we've seen an ace on stream as of yet, and I think that goes for either side. But again, I could be wrong. We might have to review some of the VODs and go back and take a look at that, but it does not matter. The game about to get underway. We have our agent selections here. Taiga with the Omen, Viper, Seth, Fade, Tilo, Instinct with Neon, Vise with JP. Pretty standard lineup, I think, for the Saints. And then looking at West Virginia, Clove, Viper, Neon, Fade, and Vise. Anything that really stands out to you?
Seth backing away from the Sage role. I do believe he's played Sage one of these prior weeks, but yeah, Viper is definitely the stronger pick on this map, able to get so many good lurk timings, especially with that wall and the orb. Clove is a pretty adventurous pick coming in from West Virginia. Yes, you get to play Clove more of like a entry-ish controller, but again, that their smoke's not lasting as long is going to be a pretty big deficit, and no Omen blind as well is, in my opinion, especially on such a close quarters map with such close quarters sites, a little bit of a mistake. I like our comp more just because of the Omen.
Well, I guess West Virginia, they must have something planned for this. Maybe the goal was to throw St. Clair off their game, you know, bring something a little bit unconventional to the table this week to maybe find some success. But it really comes down to, like we said, we talked about the duelist battle, Dinks and Instinct, both on the Neon, the mirror match there. That's really going to be a matchup we're going to be watching as this big impact for this game. But we are going to wait no longer. We are here on Lotus. The Saints starting on defense. Let's see if they can get it done.
Oh, adventurous peek coming in from Tillo. Gets the information about 2 or 3 people. Oh, wow. Has to back up so quickly. Isn't able to find the shot onto the Clove. Really impactful pick coming through. Oh, wow. This Neon's up heaven so quickly. Instinct getting stunned, having to back away.
I don't even know what happened with Tillo there. I mean, that was at least 4 or 5 shots that didn't find their target. I mean, not a great way to start if you're St. Clair. Is Seth going to be joining his teammate, and so does Instinct and JP. West Virginia coming out hot in the pistol round. Mistakes from St. Clair in round 1. West Virginia with an early lead.
Oh, West Virginia was so solid with that post plant. We see the one player still deep in main. Every single player tradable, playing crosses, genuinely textbook.
And that goes back to the start of that round. Tillo, again, you miss those opening shots. I mean, getting that pick to start would, could have changed the trajectory of that entire round. So not getting that opening pick, losing everybody, just bulks up West Virginia that much more. Everybody now, except Inox, I suppose, with a rifle online now. It's going to be really tough for St. Clair to try and build up some momentum early.
Oh, here we see St. Clair with the 4-man on C. West Virginia seem to be aware of it. They're kind of backing away, poking and prodding, not wanting to get too close in case the C trap, which St. Clair definitely want to do. I don't believe they should tap orb here. Opens the door towards Tillo alone on B. Oh, West Virginia are definitely aware of this. Instinct getting caught out, just firing some shots, getting a little bit of damage, getting that bit of damage onto A77 there, forcing West Virginia to back up. It might be a retake towards A for St. Clair here. We see Tillo with a very fast rotate and the smoke coming through from Taiga. Perfectly timed, honestly. Gives us so much time and so much room to work with.
Yeah, that rotation definitely coming through. The Saints going to be wise to this rotation as now the abilities come through. Oh, Tillo, he responds in kind with a second one. Why not add a third? Of course, he gets taken out before he can go just a little bit more crazy, but that's what we wanted to see in round 1. Great swing and momentum. Those are big picks for St. Clair early. 3v3 now. The spike does get planted. West Virginia getting it down. Let's see if St. Clair can retake this site as JP and the rest of the boys lurking around. Seth does find a rifle to grab to make it easy. Seth making it effective, does find Guck. Seth, though, going down. See if they can get the defuse.
Taiga having to tap A77, a very awkward position. Nice jump peek, right click with the classic. We see Inox in the 1v2 scenario. Yes, has a better gun, is able to find JP and Taiga, but still a very, very messy forced buy from West Virginia. Us being able to find 4 is amazing. Tillo finding that 1 kill onto the Neon while fully stunned and the Neon sliding.
That was a crazy, an absolutely insane flick from Tillo. He really wanted that one back after whiffing in round 1. But no, like you said, I mean, you don't win the round. Bit messy, like you said, for West Virginia. I think that was a good way to put it. Saints just barely missed a potential win. Still down 2, but you have rifles online now. Now's the time to respond.
Oh, we see Saints responding with a very good amount of A pressure. The Icon coming through is able to clear out all of that rubble space. We know no one's there, just leaving Instinct on the line by himself. Completely fine. Warning shots coming in through C. JP getting a tad adventurous. There's Viper Orb coming down at any moment. Ooh.
West Virginia quad stacking as they head through B main as Inox still trying to hold down Mound for the team. This is another round where West Virginia taking its time, you know, not pressing the issue early and just waiting for these holes in the defense to really come to fruition. Their patience is rewarded as now they find two. I mean, Instinct responding with some picks, but West Virginia once again with the man advantage, and they're going to take the round.
Oh, that's such unfortunate timing coming in from Taiga's positioning. Being unaware of that cross and just holding the incorrect angle hurt St. Clair so much. We weren't able to respond in time. Yes, West Virginia made the mistake of only sending one through the wall, but Tillo being unable to see that arm close right to him just cost him his life.
Unfortunately, it did. I mean, you can talk about the mistakes all you want. I mean, but you got to give credit to West Virginia. They've come into this game hot. They're ready to go. We talked about how last week against Maryville didn't go well for them. They might want to get theirs back. They know they're better than a 1-2 record says they are, and they're coming out to prove something today against another really good team in the NACE Super Conference. And so far, they passed the test with flying colors.
Oh, 100% they passed the test with flying colors. We see the front B fight coming in from Instinct and Taiga just going poorly as Taiga falls. JP finding so much damage. Oh, Tillo getting caught out by the lurk through B. West Virginia might be shifting towards an A hit here. They know at least one or two players are on C and max one. Instinct not getting cleared, might be able to find one kill. Oh no! Oh, finds the kill onto the Clove with only one bullet remaining, isn't able to flick fast enough onto the remaining players as we see a three-man post plant coming in from West Virginia. The Viper playing near breakable door. Very good crosses coming through. St. Clair's gonna have to work so hard. Inox on this flank. Are we aware? JP, such low HP, is able to find the kill and the backstab coming in from Inox. Seth on an absolute island in drop. Isn't able to get a kill. And that's the fourth round for West Virginia.
Yeah, just more mistakes piling up. You can tell nothing really going right for St. Clair now. Instinct, again, like Tillo in round one, just whiffing on some easy shots that if you hit some of those in early succession, you know, maybe you have enough bullets in the chamber to maybe grab another pick on your way out, but just not working for St. Clair as they have to go back to the drawing board and figure out something, because right now West Virginia really taking it to them in almost all facets of the game.
I like what St. Clair is doing here, getting such an oppressive gun like the AWP. Getting onto that line as early as possible is only going to benefit them. Seth being there just to break the fade dog. We see a fast B coming through. No vise wall. West Virginia is just able to take the entire site for free. Very awkward retake for St. Clair, seeing as Instinct is going to have that AWP. We might see a gun swap coming in here with Tillo, seeing as he's looking kind of low.
Looking kind of low. I mean, you talk about how fast West Virginia's been tonight. These quick hits have really put St. Clair off their game, and now they have to respond in time as Instinct's offline for a couple seconds now. With those couple seconds clearly making an impact as West Virginia once again with the man advantage, but the Saints with a response as Instinct's ult is going to come through, but Excite is going to find him before he can do too much damage. Tillo grabbing another one. JP going to try and get this defuse. Inox in the clutch does find JP to stop the defuse, but does not matter as West Virginia win off of spike detonation.
The Vise ult coming in from West Virginia was so amazingly timed. St. Clair having to pause the bomb timer, ticking ever so downwards towards that explosion, made us have to rush. That 1v2 we had there towards main was so perfectly played by Excite there. He knew he had to wide swing and just get the diffuser off the bomb as soon as possible, is able to execute it, and timer just goes down, and St. Clair is unable to defuse.
Unable to defuse, and I mean, things just go from bad to worse now, as that really was your force buy round. Not able to get anything from that last round, and now you're stuck with Sheriffs and a Stinger. I mean, with everything that West Virginia is pulling on their side, it's going to be really tough to gain some momentum. I mean, you could try and find an early pick, but with JP going down, another early man advantage for West Virginia. They are just dominating on all sides right now.
Instinct finding the kill onto Rubble on A77, isn't able to retrieve the gun and back up, gets traded by Enox. This A site should be completely free for West Virginia unless Taiga is able to get into this site early. I don't know. Oh, he does drop down the rope, has to play back site. Let's see if he is able to find one in the backstack from Guck. Isn't able to do much from Taiga.
I really think that the Saints have nothing to answer with for these aggressive plays that West Virginia, they're so good at just throwing everybody off their game, at rushing when they need to, waiting for that pick to come in, and then getting St. Clair off their game. I mean, they just came in with a game plan, and they are executing it perfectly right now, because St. Clair, they're going to lose their 6th in a row here. I mean, maybe Sev can grab somebody on the way out just to boost your economy a little bit, but with the way he's been playing and the way Excite has been playing, it's just not going to happen.
Oh, 100%. That broken buy coming in off of such a heavy buy for St. Clair is going to make the rest of this half's economy a little scary. As I said earlier in the pre-show, I would definitely like to see an early Odin spam coming in, force West Virginia onto a different site, and just make them play our game. If we're able to get something, just anything different than what West Virginia want to do, I believe we'll be able to win those gunfights. Classic 2-2-1 stat coming in for St. Clair. Instinct getting on that early line and aggression. Ooh. The players for West Virginia might want to fight this. Such a deep smoke, getting so much util out for St. Clair. They might find this worth it and just go back towards A.
Now, when you look at the way this has been going, I mean, this is another round where West Virginia really going to try and take their time, trying to contest on Mound as much as they can. You got Taiga and Instinct who are going to attempt to hold down the fort, but you got to be careful, as now West Virginia is starting to send agents elsewhere to find some cracks and, you know, potentially cause some disruption, as A77 on that lurk. Like we said, Inox also trying to troll around a little bit, as now space has been given up on C. West Virginia pushing up as far as they can. The smoke's going to help them as well. Now West Virginia getting into the site. Things trading out shots. Nothing yet, but that entry frag for West Virginia once again coming through. Guck has just been everywhere for them.
Oh yeah, this Clove, especially with all, is just able to entry so well for West Virginia. Just another player that's able to play that entry role is so incredibly impressive. We see the Viper ultimate coming in through deep waterfall, even getting a little bit of CT there. I do believe St. Clair will have to invest the Visol and the Fatal into this round just to try and get a win.
And that puts a lot of pressure on them, because, you know, like you said, you invest a couple ults into this round. You need to find something, and Tillo is the one who's going to have to look for it in the 1v2 once again. In the clutch, does find Guck, but still has work to do. A77 and Inox still lurking around. But Tillo gonna have to back away. That Viper ult just too strong. And Tillo's just gonna have to concede. Nothing he can do there. St. Clair drop another round. That's the 7th in a row for them. Tillo does get out of the radius to at least survive and keep his weapon, but at this point, how much is that really gonna matter?
A little bit, but yeah, as you said, our buy is still looking broken. Going into this 9th round here, we have to change up our game plan. I think aggression towards A, which we haven't seen at all from St. Clair, something that we are used to, that we've done normally in the past, would definitely be more beneficial than not. Yes, we got that Cloval out of the last round. Yes, we got that Viper ult, but still, we need to win rounds. That is all that matters. Instinct instantly falling to Dink's sliding shot there. Wow.
Wow is right. I was just going to say, I think another big reason that West Virginia has been so effective is they've been able to neutralize these entry picks for St. Clair. Instinct hasn't been able to really make an impact in this game. It's been West Virginia who's made that opening play, and they've always had St. Clair on the back foot in terms of the man advantage. St. Clair always having to play from behind. That's Seth getting back on the board. He's had a really slow game, only his second pick of the match. Him and Taiga leading the way on the bottom for the Saints. They're really going to have to start picking it up if they're going to want to hope to win this Lotus map. But right now, West Virginia, they're pushing for this half end as Seth, once again, in between a rock and a hard place.
Seth in such an incredibly tight position. West Virginia just playing every single cross so perfectly, giving time for their Neon to flank through stairs is, as I was saying earlier, just textbook. St. Clair might have to time out, reevaluate what we want to do and how we want to play, as we see the timeout coming through.
I'm honestly surprised they took this long to call the timeout. I mean, with the way things have been going, I probably would have called one after round 5 or 6. I mean, West Virginia has just had an answer for everything that St. Clair has thrown at them. And even the rounds where it looks like the Saints have a chance to get something going, they always respond with an answer. I mean, you can see it on the players' faces. Disbelief and frustration, I think, is the story of today. What do you even do? Like, how do you get anything out of this? If you don't come out of the timeout and at least get one round win, you're really going to be in dire straits after that.
We see Seth having to be that bigger figure, that big brother figure, just having to be that rock that will guide St. Clair towards at least 4 rounds. Getting an 8-4 half in a situation such like this is not bad at all. We just need 3 or 4 to be able to bring us back mentally, and then the attack half.
And I think you said that perfectly. It's the mental aspect of it too. Once you let this snowball, right, it really can be detrimental for the overall health of not just this map, but for the entire series, because you still have more to play after this, right? If you can't lock in mentally on map 1, who's to say you're going to respond for map 2? So hopefully that timeout for St. Clair pays dividends. But West Virginia also benefiting from a little bit of a breather. We'll see what they have cooking up here. Looks like another early mound pressure coming in from West Virginia. That smoke going to delay them just that little bit. But a similar play from what we've seen earlier.
West Virginia definitely loving the C fakes. This early Viper ult coming in from Seth, not bad at all. I would love to see some more St. Clair players rotating towards that B site now that that Vise Wall and the Thorns have been tripped. Especially with that Viper ult, West Virginia is not looking to get into such a situation.
No, definitely not. I'm curious to see where West Virginia decides to attack here. Going to be rotating back to A. That's been a site they've had a lot of success on. I mean, to be fair, I think they've had a lot of success on every site they've tried to attack tonight, but more util getting burned on both sides. No picks coming through yet. Both teams just playing it slow and passive. Just about 30 seconds left in this round. St. Clair, they're going to need somebody to step up.
I might have been proven absolutely wrong on my West Virginia take of not wanting to go towards C. We see the spike even still being towards C. The neon wall coming through. Oh, the fake coming. Tillo falling.
Taiga does find something for St. Clair, but just nothing working, nothing going in St. Clair's favor as they're down a man. Once again, 3v2 in favor of West Virginia, and now they have to get back onto the site. Dink's going to make it that much harder for Seth. He's locked in this clutch situation. Still has 3 members of West Virginia in his path and has to defuse the spike. Not even going to happen. We are not going to entertain that. St. Clair coming out of the timeout once again, coming up with 0 on their side of the scoreboard. looking very, very dire as we get closer to halftime.
Again, West Virginia playing that time, giving their Neon time to flank in through C, through the Viper ult, having that knowledge to know that absolutely no one was in there is just amazing communication coming out from the side of West Virginia. They are so confident in their plays, and their set plays that they're running are working. This light buy round coming in from St. Clair is going to be so difficult. Marshall coming in from JP still is able to find the pick onto Equinox. Okay. We're in a much better situation. Tillo getting that good amounts of damage.
It all comes down to how they respond after that first pick. JP, like you said, opening it up, but West Virginia not dead yet, as they do find Taiga on their way to this A plant. St. Clair, once again, in a situation where they got a lot of work to do, and West Virginia in a really, really good spot to defend this A site. Seth and Instinct trying to work their way through a main as they do have
so much
reinforcements, but West Virginia, they still find picks.
So much pressure coming in from the flank. The West Virginia players are unaware of St. Clair as we find the picks, find the trades, and are able to put our first round on the board, 1-9. Again, all we need is 3. All we need is 3 rounds to be able to boost that morale, get back into this game mentally, and then we'll be able to perform on attack.
You can see Seth, he was like, he literally looked to the heavens and was like, oh my God, like, thank you. You know, we just needed one. And hopefully their prayers can continue to be answered. I mean, still not going well, all things considered. But like you said, it just starts with 1. You just need to get to 3 before halftime. Then you can try and build some momentum. You switch sides. You go on attack. You'd like to see the Saints. And look at that. You called this Omen play. Excite must have been watching the stream because that's exactly what he's planning on doing right now.
Yeah, the sheer amounts of pressure from the Odin. Taiga having to completely nullify the idea of getting that early information using himself. The damage he's taken already, not substantial, but it's still something. Tillo, more than half of his HP and no shields remaining for him. He just has to back away. Yes, Inox took a lot of damage, but in the grand scheme of things, the trade of damage is more towards West Virginia's favor.
Absolutely, and like you said, the intel that West Virginia gains as well. You know, you talked about how oppressive the Odin is and how much it gives you the opportunity to take space. You know, just laying down fire is the key to victory. Dinks finding Tillo before getting traded out by Instinct, still even at 4, but Excite gonna get the spike down onto A. Another quick hit for West Virginia. Saints, the ball is in their court now to try and respond. A similar setup to how they retook the site last time. Instinct trying to lead the way with his ult. Isn't going to find anything as Inox is able to take him out. Excite finding that pick on a JP as well.
Here we find Taiga and Seth in the 2v3 situation. Excite getting just ahead of the close smoke, coming down, is able to pull out the shorty and find such crucial timing onto Taiga. A very unfortunate round for our Saints to lose, especially considering how low Inox was, but all in all, not bad. Our economy should be okay. At least 2 or 3 rifles coming into this final round of the half, but again, we just need 1. Just boost morale as much as humanly possible going into this last round. JP having ults, Tillo being closer to his ults will definitely be something that St. Clair wants to invest as soon as humanly possible.
Absolutely. You know, you talked about the morale. I mean, I don't think it can get any worse than how it is right now. So like, it can only go up. And Tillo trying to make something happen. Does get an opening pick. One of the few that St. Clair have got in this game. And another one as well. I mean, put in the work. Still trading out shots. Does get some intel before he goes down. Saints have an idea of where West Virginia is going to be coming through. That Viper wall just needed to be cleared out. Taiga, good pick for him. Saints in an advantageous position to get one before the half switch.
What a quick flank coming in from Taiga, is able to use his ultimate and get away. But Inox doing the absolute most for West Virginia, finding the 2 picks. Now we're in a 2v2 situation. This was originally a 4v2. Definitely very winnable for St. Clair. Yes, JP still having this ult is huge. Isn't able to find the pick up to Inox, and Inox gets 4. 11-1 for West Virginia University. Inox doing the absolute most for his team, stepping up when they needed him, is just able to find those kills. Precise gunplay onto each and every St. Clair member.
Man, I don't even know what to say after that one. I mean, like, it looked like everything was going right for St. Clair for once. One of the few times that we could confidently say that they had a chance in that round. But Inox, like you said, just a Herculean effort to bring it back for West Virginia. And now St. Clair staring down the barrel of an 11-1 deficit at halftime. I mean, yes, you might be on the favorable side, but knowing that West Virginia only needs 2, and with the way they've been playing, that's going to be a really, really tall order to even think about making a comeback, let alone winning 2 or 3 in a row.
We definitely have to see how West Virginia is going to play this utility game. Yes, St. Clair was able to take so much space and just get on those weird angles with the Omen. The Clove is going to, they want to be more aggressive playing with the Clove, yes, but the smoke timings, as I was talking about, they just last for not that long and make them not as useful or usable as they could be. A lot of B and C pressure coming in for St. Clair. I'm not sure they're aware that no one could be here. West Virginia just wanting to play that 5v5. They know with their positioning, with how they've been shooting and playing recently, they just want to bring the fight to St. Clair on their retake when St. Clair is going to be the most vulnerable with the least amount of util.
And why shouldn't they feel confident? I mean, like you said, with the way West Virginia's been playing, they absolutely hold all the cards in their hand right now. I mean, Instinct, once again, a whiff from a St. Clair entry fragger as West Virginia cleaning up the pieces. Just absolutely dominating St. Clair once again. Seth, though, trying to go down with something, but not going to happen as Guck takes him down. Match point, West Virginia. Blink and you miss it. This one's already over. And looking at West Virginia's map pick coming up, really, really bad news for St. Clair right now.
St. Clair is definitely in dire straits. We might have to time out this just to talk about how we want to play our potentially last round. Having to force by weaponry and utility is going to hurt. If St. Clair are able to win this with at least 3 players alive, it'll be a positive, but any less, it's gonna hurt so bad for the rest of this game. Seth just having to get adventurous. Oh, so much damage already coming into JP, but Inox taking just the same. Tillo, good pick onto Inox. Taking out all that Vise utility early is definitely going to open up so much more of the map for St. Clair.
There have been flashes of the St. Clair that we're familiar with seeing, but they just can't seem to string anything together to make, you know, magic happen. JP, though, keeping it going for St. Clair, another early man advantage for them, but we know we can't get too comfortable with the way West Virginia has been playing, but it looks like St. Clair might be able to pull this one out. All going to be up to Guck on the side of West Virginia to maybe get this one back. Saints will be happy to get at least 2 on the board. That's what is going to happen. Good round for St. Clair, but a colossal mountain remains in front of them still.
Very, very good round coming in from St. Clair. We see JP's chamber gameplay paying off. Those 2 incredible picks with the Marshall just opening up so much for what St. Clair needed to get through towards that C site. Tillo being able to find the pick onto the Vise that JP had gotten very low. Again, amazing. And 3 kills coming in for him, getting closer and closer to his ultimate. The sooner we're able to get our Initiator ultimate online, the more options we'll have for which site to hit.
And that's exactly what you have to do if you even want to think about making a comeback. You have to try and stay unpredictable, make West Virginia guess and keep guessing to maybe make something happen. I mean, we're trying to give St. Clair the benefit of the doubt here, you know. We're trying to be supportive of them, but I think right now we can kind of see the writing on the wall where this is going to go. But we're hoping for miracles on our side here. Let's see what Instinct can do and the rest of the boys. Good start though with JP. That's his 3rd of the round. JP starting to heat up a little bit, but is it too little too late?
Very, very good kills coming in for JP. Excite, getting 2, making this semi-winnable for Inox. I'm not sure St. Clair is aware that Inox could be flanking, just having to clear as much as humanly possible. And yes, going back towards C is definitely the correct play here. Inox being so far behind, St. Clair is just going to get a free spike plant. More time to get their utility back, and Inox being on 32 HP, not going to be able to do a lot. 23 HP, my apologies. St. Clair playing these 1v1s, and they're good for them. The better weaponry coming through, and 2-man advantage win for St. Clair. Brick by brick, round by round. Amazing B split coming through as well. Definitely not what West Virginia were expecting. We see the Neon falling off from their angle with the Bucky towards A, and just JP being able to find that kill while they were distracted by Instinct's movement, gameplay, just everything.
A miracle has happened. The Saints have won 2 rounds in a row. Didn't think that was possible, but here we are. Still a lot of work to do, though. West Virginia still on match point, but more comfortable loadouts for both sides here. Everybody with rifles online. St. Clair just got to keep stringing these good rounds together. If they can get a good opening pick, get Instinct to make an impact, just do something to help his team, that could be a recipe for success.
Definitely correct of St. Clair to pause on that initial A take. That we see the Fade ultimate coming in through B, not getting stopped by the Fade sticky, and where the site is just completely opened up. So much damage getting taken onto the West Virginia members. Inox still being able to find JP on that C is going to open up so much. The door for St. Clair could be so incredibly impressive. Just the presence of it being open, we're going to have to turn our heads. We're going to have to look. Seth being on a tad bit of an island. Instinct finding 2 kills with the backstab. The information that Seth was there, just drawing West Virginia away, not being completely aware of where Instinct could be. And we know both members are in B main. We just have to play our crosses, have to play time. And amazing shots from St. Clair. That is 4 rounds in a row.
And that's exactly what we wanted to see from Instinct. That double there. That's the sort of thing that gets the team motivated and pumped up. That's the kind of energy we need. We need the guys to get upset, you know, to get emotional, fight for their lives here. I mean, you can't just lay down and die early in the series. We need to see some emotion, and plays like that can galvanize the rest of the team and help them get back into the game. And you look at this here as now St. Clair in the advantageous position, rifles v pistols. Hopefully, they can secure another win here. I'd like to see them get aggressive again. That is their pattern, especially on Lotus attack. They love these early aggressive hits onto sites like C. We'd love to see them try and run that here.
Oh, definitely. As we see, JP being 1 off of his ultimate is just going to be able to maybe open up a lot for St. Clair. The 2-man flank coming in through A from West Virginia. JP might not be aware. Everyone just decides to back off. St. Clair still aware that this could be a trap, still playing it relatively safely. We might see JP calling more players over towards B. Yes, we've had more success than not, but still our smokes using so much towards C isn't able to draw as much as we initially intended. This Neon is going to definitely hear all of this coming through from St. Clair. I don't know. Very diligent from St. Clair for clearing this angle. Oh, Dinks able to find one with the classic and Guck with the stinger. Just so much for St. Clair. So expensive from them. Yes, we still end up towards the B site, but still very awkward positioning, and especially in the 5v3, we need someone to get these really big picks. Guck finding Taiga, instantly getting the trade, yes, but he might have to adventure a little bit. Just try and find 1 or 2 more kills, and he does not. 13-4 for
Oof.
West Virginia.
I mean, at least it wasn't a 13-0, I guess. But yeah, that's a tough first map. That's your map pick as well, that you drop 13-4. I mean, everything going wrong for St. Clair there. They do find something near the end, but wasn't enough to survive Lotus, as now the boys have to go back to the drawing board. Down 1, heading to Bind, West Virginia's preferred map, their good pick. It's going to be really tough for them to find something, especially with St. Clair starting on the defensive side.
With how West Virginia played that Lotus, I even saw some hints of St. Clair adopting a little bit of that playstyle with Instinct opening up the site initially, then going all the way around and backstabbing a few players that are trying to retake, which was good. Taking a little bit out of West Virginia's playbook was good. It worked, and it was nice, yes. Unfortunately, came a little too late. There's a lot that I do believe St. Clair can get down with on this bind, I do believe just scrapping, getting as scrappy as possible would be for our best interests. We cannot allow West Virginia to be up man advantage or just in the 5v5 because their communication, the crosses that they play, how they just their micro adjustments in game have just looked so amazing in this past map of Lotus. Yes, even being a favorite of St. Clair's, just getting absolutely dismantled. We had our moments, of course, we had our moments. I love seeing all our moments that we have, yes, but West Virginia's just discipline and textbook plays just dismantling what we wanted to do.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, they just had an answer for everything they had going for them. And we can see a discussion going down while Instinct eats his dinner. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe he was just hungry. And that's why he couldn't lock in fully. But we'll see if that makes an impact for the team there. I mean, could it get worse? I mean, I don't want to say that, but you can only go up from here. I mean, like you said, a really rough start. JP trying to rally the boys back. I mean, wait, where do you start? Who do you think needs to step up? I mean, it could be anybody. I think everybody collectively should step up, but is there anybody who you'd like to see especially more of?
I think going into bind, something I'd really like to see, maybe of course, is a chamber coming through, maybe a deadlock chamber on bind, a little unorthodox double sentinel coming through, but just getting JP that operator, the outlaw, just getting him sniping as early as possible is going to prove, I think, a recipe for success for St. Clair. Even on attack on Vise, he was able to find multiple picks with a Marshall, with an outlaw. Being unable to op or outlaw on the defense for St. Clair, just with how poor our buy was highly unfortunate, because I do believe that's one of JP's strengths and a way to just perturb West Virginia from wanting to hit a specific site.
JP was heating up, but we're going to have to see if he can stay hot. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, map 2, bind is coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
hesitation was for Cumberland, but St. Clair breaks through. Oh, gaining lead. Situation now 1-on-1, 1 HP on this Sova. 1 bullet is a 4-person 1v5. Stand against the random.
Guys, welcome back. That was a very short break, I'd have to say. We're just about ready to get into map 2, but still some things to talk about, I think. Lots to unpack after that first map. Not the best performance that St. Clair has put on by a long stretch.
Definitely not one of our better performances. I felt like we looked kind of stifled in what we wanted to do, put in West Virginia's proverbial box, and they just capitalized off of so much.
Well, one thing that we talked about is how the bye week, you know, being away from the game for a little bit, maybe that affects the play. And I mean, you look at the scoreboard, Seth and Taiga both with rough matches, 5 and 6 kills respectively. Tillo leading the way with 17. He was actually having a good game, all things considered. The rest of the team just couldn't string everything together. You look on the other side at West Virginia's scoreline, much better. Inox leading the way, 20 kills, A77, 14, and so on and so forth. I mean, all around, a solid performance as a whole from their team. They just came out and played better. They were prepared, and St. Clair, like, frankly, just hasn't looked like they came prepared today. Maybe their brains are still on vacation mode after this bye week, but they're going to have to figure out something soon because they have a really tough task ahead of them. Down 1, going to your opponent's map pick. I mean, your backs are already against the wall in this series, and you know the games that are coming up after this week. It doesn't get harder, or it doesn't get easier from here, I should say. So dropping this one would be really unfortunate to start this gauntlet that we talked about.
Yeah, especially what you were talking about with West Virginia coming in with something to prove, a chip on their shoulder. We definitely saw that fire and that passion with how they were playing. Each and every player on West Virginia were making an effort to make the plan succeed, and they definitely succeeded in so many aspects of their plan that they were just able to do exactly what they came prepared to do, which was win.
They did come prepared to win, and honestly, they look like the team that wants to win today. So far, St. Clair, they just don't look like they want it, quite frankly. They just don't look locked in mentally. Like you said, you wanted to see some fire and some emotion come out after some of these round wins, and we just haven't seen that so far. It's been very complacent looking from the team thus far. So I'm hoping that that's all on the inside. Hopefully they can at least internalize some of these emotions they're feeling, keep cool and calm on the outside, but they do have a chance to respond. The series is absolutely not over yet, despite all the doom and gloom that we're spewing right now. Anything can happen. I like to say this would be a rebound match. You know, we did say that this was most likely going to be a 3-map affair, so we're still potentially on track to see that, but I don't know.
Yeah, going into West Virginia's map pick is definitely going to be something that everyone is going to have to talk about. Everyone is going to have to input something they want to implement into this next match. But again, I do believe getting scrappy, getting in West Virginia's face, just completely disrupting their game plan, what they want to do, is going to be St. Clair's best chance to go up in their most comfortable half of the map. Yes, we've played Bind, in my opinion, the least, but if we're just able to be a bit more unorthodox, get their West Virginia's plans muddied and just not able to work, I believe we'll even be able to come out at the half.
Hopefully. I mean, like we said, it can't possibly get any worse than how Lotus started. But, you know, you have to be worried because similar story. I mean, West Virginia starting on attack, St. Clair starting on defense, and we saw how effective that side was for WVU on Lotus. So you have to think that St. Clair's got to be a little worried at least. You know, they have to change things. Obviously, there's a lot to change as we head into this next one, but what do you think the big change, like maybe like a comp change perhaps? Do you think they're going to change up the lineup a little bit? What do you think they need to do to really get back into this?
I think a comp change, even like I said during the break, getting JP or anyone on more unorthodox agents, just being able to get into those weirder off angles, those weirder spots is only going to benefit us. Just surprising. West Virginia in some of these rounds is going to in turn give us rounds. Definitely something I want to see coming from St. Clair in this next map is just a pop-off moment. I want to see everyone getting hype over one round, everyone in unison, just looking like a team, getting that fire lit together will definitely be able to tip the snowball in our favor.
I agree. Like we said, that emotion is just so palpable sometimes, right? And that really does lead to some interesting things on either side. As, like we said, hopefully the boys are ready to go and locked in, because this is match point for West Virginia. You know, lots on the line here. You'd hate to get 2-0'd after coming out of your bye week. Not a good look, as we're just about to get into the map. Agents coming out. Oh, some big changes for both sides. Double Brim. What are you feeling about that?
I think Brim is definitely one of, if not the strongest controller on this map. And again, Viper being a secondary controller is just so strong. I feel not playing a Sentinel on a map such as Bind, being able to throw Viper's wall even through that TP so it lands on the other side of the map is just so oppressive. Especially Instinct and JP going the Yoru and the Chamber a little bit more awkward on a defensive half. They, as I was talking about, have to get more aggressive. Just send Instinct towards somewhere, maybe send his TP towards the opposite site if West Virginia decide to hit. But I like it. I like that St. Clair is able to get more adventurous with how they want to play, being able to put themselves in more advantageous positioning as opposed to what happened on Lotus.
Now you look at the other side of West Virginia, two big changes to them, Sky and Raze coming in this time. Anything about that surprises you, or how are you feeling about West Virginia changing it up as well?
Not a lot surprises me. I do think Yoru is definitely played more in this current meta that we're in. I'm not hating the Sky whatsoever. It's definitely more of an old school thing. What I was surprised about was the Reyna pick coming in from Excite. Just sheer confidence emanating from that man.
Well, we have to think that they have some sort of a plan. This is West Virginia's pick. They do have a lot of good experience on Bind. You know, they have to have something weird planned here. You're already making faces. You definitely saw something. What did you see?
As I was saying, just as you see, getting adventurous, we see JP getting put on that very early showers line. Bomb coming down for West Virginia, but Taiga is still finding that kill onto A77. Makes this pretty even for St. Clair. The two-man flank coming through could prove integral, but Guck being able to find one. Not sure if he's aware of the second Seth, making the noise, just trying to draw attention towards himself. Is not able to do so as much, but still, two players. Guy from showers, a double swing coming through from short. Seth finding one, not able to find a kill onto Dink. JP 10 HP swings back sight, isn't able to find it. 1v1 for Instinct and Dink. Grenade coming through. Instinct so low. And unfortunately isn't outside of the Raze nades radius. Oh, heartbreaking, especially in such a winnable position. Just that slight misstep, that slight mistake is going to hurt. But still, pistol round of the first game, they made it close. 1v1 situation, it's definitely looking up.
But this is what we've seen before. We've seen a lot of rounds where St. Clair, they have the advantage. You know, they get that early man advantage, but they just can't finish. West Virginia has done a really good job of making sure that they can close out the rounds even when they're down. And I mean, that would have been a really tough situation for Instinct either way. He wouldn't have had time to defuse the spike regardless. But yet again, another early round win for West Virginia.
An aggressive force buy coming in from Instinct. Oh, Guck just whiffing completely onto Taiga. That kill is going to be especially integral. No Brim smokes. St. Clair is just able to play back as much as humanly possible. Let West Virginia come into them and just find their picks. JP, again, these unorthodox angles, not sure if West Virginia is going to be aware. Tillo, that jump peek, getting some information, yes, a lot of damage, but still West Virginia might not be aware of JP. Let's see if they have the diligence to clear him out here.
JP is one of those players who you really want to see get cooking, especially in a situation where you're down. You want to trust your stars to make the big plays happen, and somebody from St. Clair is going to have to step up to make those plays. You lose that Sheriff, and now, or that Outlaw, I should say, as Inox uses that Outlaw effectively against Seth, and now the floodgates are open for West Virginia as they crash in to the site. A77 gonna get the spike down. Excite adding another pick for West Virginia. JP
having to ace to win the round. Vandal in hand, there is a world. Yes, JP has no shields here. Oh, he just decides to say, smart decision.
Smart.
Just taking the upgraded weaponry and just backing up, giving St. Clair as much economy as possible, especially with Instinct forcing up the Marshal and not being able to find a kill. Just being able to hand him that gun and maybe JP buying an Outlaw or a Marshal of his own is just effective for St. Clair.
It's something, it's a silver lining for still a bad situation. Again, you've given West Virginia another round, have the potential for the bonus round coming up. Yes, you do steal a Vandal, but again, West Virginia has proven that they've been able to hang with St. Clair on almost all facets. And again, it's this mental toll that you talk about, is how many more rounds can you let West Virginia win in a row before you finally just crack?
I do believe we're seeing a little bit of sun coming through the clouds for St. Clair. Yes, we lost that previous round, but JP still finding those 2 picks is taking money out of West Virginia's pockets. Just anything that they're able to do to just chip away at them as slow as possible and get as much out of these early rounds is only going to benefit St. Clair.
Yeah, we saw in the replay there that smoke from, or that, not that smoke, that kill that Inox was able to secure, big for West Virginia. Very crucial to them securing that second round. Round 3 now. More shots go through. Saints a bit more comfortable in terms of the utility and the weaponry they bring to the fight this time. But West Virginia always one step behind them, always an answer in hand. JP with that Vandal he stole in that last round, waiting. He's got 3 members of West Virginia on the other side of that wall. Does find Excite. That's 1 pick going the way of St. Clair early. Let's hope they can build off of that momentum.
Definitely will see some rotates coming in for St. Clair. I do believe this stack that we're currently going to have, this 2 and 3 splitting towards the sites, is correct. Instinct having this judge, yes, but still the gate crash being able to go towards the opposite site is highly effective. We see Inox finding the kill onto Taiga. Tillo, early pick onto 177, and Instinct is even able to find dinks across the map, and St. Clair brings us to a 4v2 situation. Very winnable, especially with such close range weaponry. God. Finding the kill onto JP. We're not sure if Tillo's aware of this. The running gun being effective. 2v2 situation for West Virginia. They've made this winnable. The Molly Instinct not being able to move, just has to back up, has to play West Virginia's game.
That's so unfortunate to lose Guck. I mean, no reason why he should have lost that fight and somehow was able to make miracles happen. And another miracle is he's able to get away from Instinct and his judgment. Inox adding another pick, and now once again St. Clair in a tough spot, does find Guck, and Instinct swing, he does get Inox as well. Big round for St. Clair as Instinct steps up to make the big play.
What a perfect flash coming in from Instinct there. Yes, the brim being turned around makes him unflash, but with such little bullets, the 6 bullets that Instinct only had in that weapon, he had to make the most out of each. The 1 tap coming in on the brim, the 360 to the fully flashed Viper on bench, just able to find both picks, 3K and the spike defusal. Pick up that early round for St. Clair, definitely what we needed.
And we talked about it, you know, you want to see somebody step up and lead the team, and Instinct so far has made a big play early on Bind to keep St. Clair in it early. And now again, you have to feel like those are the kind of rounds and situations that really start to build the confidence early. Let's hope they can build off that, as Tillo is just, the kitchen sink was thrown at him in that situation. Just nothing he can do there. Overwhelmed by West Virginia's attack.
amazing set play coming in for West Virginia. They knew the fade usually likes to play towards Lamps and just had to force him into the brim all. Either force him into swinging into 3 players or just getting obliterated by the Brimstone ultimate.
See what West Virginia has cooking for the rest of this round. Another slow-paced attack heading around near windows. St. Clair giving them space to get to B. I mean, with the way the Saints have rotated now, you have an open site, and West Virginia, with those smokes to give them that clearance, have time to get the plant down. And once again, St. Clair having to rotate around, but with the way the Saints are right now, they're going to give West Virginia a lot of time to get this timer down on the spike. Going to make it a lot harder for St. Clair, and the way Guck has been playing, that's also going to make it extremely difficult.
Guck being so aware of the flank possibility, hears the dimensional drift coming in from Instinct, and knows that St. Clair like to flank in these situations. Taiga himself being mollied off, no shields to his name, is just forced into such an awkward situation, and West Virginia, again, finding those crosses, finding those picks that they needed.
And that's exactly what we saw in the first game. Whenever St. Clair has a round that goes their way, West Virginia has an answer for them. I mean, like you said, how aware Guck especially in knowing that St. Clair likes to flank, you know, getting that intel, you know, just those audio cues, everything going right for West Virginia right now. And St. Clair still searching for answers. As yes, they're only down 2, but we saw this last time. That 2-round deficit rapidly turned bigger and bigger. And again, West Virginia just coming to play. My goodness. 2 opening picks once again. Blink and you miss it. Excite looking for more. Dueling with Tillo, and he wins it as well. 2 men left alive for St. Clair, and they're left scrambling.
Such a broken buy coming in from St. Clair. The most they can do is swing. I would have preferred to see multiple players swinging together, just being able to find that kill onto Excite. He himself got relatively low. Lots of gunfire being put his way by each individual St. Clair member. If more than one player was there, I do believe we would have seen Excite falling. But again, just one by one, our Saints are falling, and Seth is just left to do the most. Finding a singular pick here would be an upside for this round, definitely. Just not giving away those ultimate points, and still he himself finding one for him would be an upside, but again, that's going to be extremely hard.
Extremely hard for him. 80 HP, a Sheriff, and a Dream. And that Dream turned into a nightmare as A77 puts an end to that immediately. West Virginia continue to roll early. Do you take a timeout here?
Definitely. I would definitely take a timeout here, rather earlier than later, because even in Lotus, with how late the timeout came, yes, we were able to build some momentum, get a few rounds, but if it had been done maybe 3 rounds earlier, I believe we would have seen a more different game, and West Virginia would have had to fight so much more for it.
And there it is, that timeout. We predicted it perfectly. I think that's a good play. I mean, definitely took way too long on the timeout, I think, on a Lotus. You've already, you know, dug yourself really deep in the hole. Too late to try and fight your way out. Now, like, you have a chance. You know, you're down by 3, but you have a possibility, right? You said if you can win one, you know, just try and build that econ back up, you know, break West Virginia's economy. Potentially, you have a chance to get back in, but I don't know, man. Like, the way that West Virginia's been playing, they have just been so impressive and so dominant on all facets. I mean, yes, this timeout gives the Saints just a bit of a break, but I mean, what can you even do? Like, what do you even say? Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, coming fresh off of Call of Duty on the B stream, Patrick Smoke Chambers joining us on the desk. Triple cast. I mean, Smoke, you've walked into a rough match for St. Clair. They got dog walked on Lotus, currently down 4-1 West Virginia. Give me some initial thoughts. I mean, like, does that surprise you?
I mean, a little bit. At the same time, you know, it is a little bit tough on bind defense, but sometimes, you know, you just got to have your players like JP holding down the line as Chambers, the tour de force coming out here, West Virginia. Looking to take a little bit of time before you kind of send out the Sky Ult through showers, as now the walk-up's going to happen in sync with the Viper Wall. Eye goes out from the Reyna, and now there is going to be the Raze ult that comes through. Taking space right now is West Virginia, as now St. Clair have to try to play retake here, and how will they do it? Tyga's going to answer first. Shots from the Vandal raining through as the Brim going to go down, and Plant stalling out here is a huge pickup right there from the Reyna. Nice job there, just able to fade out and is able to take this reposition again. Huge picks there from Excite, as now it is going to be the Plant finally going down for West Virginia.
Having to tap the bomb, 20 seconds left. Excite on a 3K. Could we see an ace here, just opening up so much space for West Virginia? Oh, we can't see an answer for St. Clair. We got put in such an advantageous positioning. But again, that sheer gunplay coming in from the Reyna is just able to open up so much that St. Clair didn't want. Instinct, 13 HP, finds the 1 kill onto A77. This cross coming through for West Virginia. High-low. Instinct isn't able to do anything about it. 1-5 for West Virginia.
Yeah, and I mean, once again, similar situation to what we saw on Lotus. I mean, a timeout taken from St. Clair, and then West Virginia just coming back and, you know, sort of putting it on their own end. Just coming out looking a lot more refreshed after the timeout, I have to say. And yet another round where St. Clair is just left picking up the pieces after going down early. I mean, we're just getting nothing out of the boys tonight. It's been disappointing, I think, on all sides. Look at this lineup to start for West Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, even last round, right? It was such good controlled aggression from West Virginia, just waiting to make sure that they had all their tells of the sky, using the ult through the showers, as now they're going to be trying a different sort of controlled aggression through B long on this walk-up. Skydog going through, see if he can find anyone, but no one tucked near the teleporter. Is now that flash going through and clearing out the walk-up. Is now West Virginia, they have their in. Boombot canceled out, second Sky Flash burned, and now this Pixel Peak coming through, but will not find anything for the time being. St. Clair doing a good job of stalling out this push just so far.
And such discipline coming in from West Virginia, even expending all that util that they did, yes, just clearing out Seth. Didn't even know that he was overstaying his welcome, but the Boombot forcing him back towards site, towards his teammates.
And you look at the way West Virginia is playing this. This is sort of something we've seen this whole series. They like to change the tempo almost round to round. We'll see sometimes we'll get these big, exciting, you know, fast rounds. Sometimes they'll be wait and strike like a spider in a web. And right now, 2 early picks, or late picks, I should say, for West Virginia. St. Clair, though, with the response, that's Coach, that's Seth, with 3 in this round, trying to salvage it from St. Clair. Can they find a miracle to save this series? JP, though, 1v2 with the defuse in front of him as well.
Right, I mean, you're wondering if Coach had something to save the series. Dinks says no 4 times, as he's able to claim 4 of St. Clair's 5 there. Really good play from the Rays, and again, just walking through, I believe it was a Fade ult going down, is real ballsy, but well done for West Virginia. St. Clair potentially in a little bit of a tilting environment, and who can really blame them?
Especially with how West Virginia have been tempo switching so often. St. Clair is definitely left guessing each and every round of how they want to play. Something I think that has been underutilized from St. Clair is getting that early space with the Yoru and the Chamber. Just being able to put JP onto that line as soon as humanly possible can only really benefit St. Clair. We see Instinct on a really weird angle, is able to find 2, might be able to TP out, has to ult away and save his gun. 2 highly impactful kills. We see St. Clair in a 4v3 situation. Guck lurking through Seth, being able to find the kill onto Inox. 1v3 for St. Clair.
Well, it's a 1v3 for St. Clair, but we've seen Dinks having the potential to frag out and he's still feeling confident. He's feeling aggressive right now, and why shouldn't he with the way West Virginia and the rest of his team have played in this series? But not going to work there. Tillo gets St. Clair back on the board, 6-2. Still a lot of work to do, but you slowly make your way up. Just take it one round at a time, and hopefully you can make that halftime score just a little bit nicer.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, Dinks not able to walk through the fade that time, was able to get through the ult last round, but this time going to be answered differently. And I mean, let's just talk about that play that Instinct made on Yoru as well. Coming out of showers, walking through the brim smoke and finding 2 lacking with the Sheriff, pops the ult before Dinks can try to get the refrag on Raze. I mean, that is absolutely disgusting work and great info gathering as well, as he then finds the other one popping through the teleporter, right? So it's just plays like that. That is going to be the catalyst for getting rounds for St. Clair, and just need a little bit more of that magic in order to kind of get them going, but will not be happening this time as Instinct down for the count early on entry, as it's going to be the Viper taking him out.
Good B-long aggression coming in from St. Clair, just leaving the angle way too early, in my opinion. They still had a lot of util. The 1v1 coming through, and Inox just with the crisp one-taps is able to find 2 picks. Taiga still finds the kill onto Excite, has to be able to smoke for his team before he eventually falls to the Raze rocket. Seth in such an impossible situation. Raze in front of you, Brim ult behind you. There's not a lot you could do. We see JP stuck in the 1v4, isn't able to find anything. And that's 7-1 for West Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, just through these rounds that I've watched earlier, right? Yes, Enox gets away with probably a little bit too much there through that B-side area. But again, I think this one just goes down to West Virginia doing a really good job of playing off of contact. Something that I've seen a lot is that they have really been doubling up and holding their crosses to a T. St. Clair, you know, it really speaks volumes when we're talking about people holding crosses effectively, and you're on offense right now, West Virginia is, right? So, I mean, they definitely have St. Clair kind of like fish in a barrel here, as 7-2, not a very delightful scoreline to open up with.
No, definitely not. And, you know, West Virginia, we had talked about how getting just bodied by Maryville, you know, might have lit a fire in them. And so far, you know, they've come to play in this entire series. And just like looking at it like 1-to-1 in terms of raw skill, they have absolutely outmatched every member on the Saints team so far. And I mean, anybody on the side of West Virginia can step up and make a play. Even if you feel like St. Clair, you know, if they have a 2-man or a 3-man advantage, you still feel worried that West Virginia somehow can pull a miracle out of their hat. And right now, St. Clair is going to need a miracle if they want to get back in the series, because West Virginia still is dominating. 2 picks coming through for them, Till with 1 in response, but more mistakes from St. Clair, and West Virginia has been capitalizing.
My bad. I was saying, as the Viper pick goes down too, Lello, I mean, this one, it's just becoming more and more unreachable for St. Clair.
Definitely, even with the 3-man hold for St. Clair on to the B site here, just one by one, the picks coming in for West Virginia, they're just able to find it.
Yeah, and now, you know, West Virginia, they just have St. Clair stuck between a rock and a hard place, as they are doing so damn well on offense, using such effective utility at the perfect moment too, right? I mean, just the way the Viper and company are able to execute through St. Clair, they just don't have a chance. Great job there to kind of first immediately use that Raze nade, pulls JP off of that close angle with the Bucky, right? And as soon as you establish that in through window, right, through heaven, you're able to then just kind of slowly work yourself through the gaps, as JP able to pick up an entry there.
As I was saying earlier, just getting JP that line, getting him using that operator or that outlaw, just any sniping weapons is going to be such a massive strength for St. Clair. As you see Tillo getting a little bit adventurous onto the B site, Brimstone might be unaware, and yes, Tillo does find the pick. 2 picks coming in for St. Clair. Yes, Seth is such a low HP, but the Viper ultimate is still able to perturb WVU a lot. Oh.
That's a tough pick for St. Clair to lose. You still have Tillo and the rest of the squad coming in on the lurk and the flank for reinforcements, but they're going to have to move quick, as West Virginia, not aware that they have an open site, have potential to at least get the spike down, but St. Clair waiting in the wings for them to make a move. West Virginia slowly creeping their way through Hall. Said St. Clair leaving B completely wide open. I think they're waiting for West Virginia to execute, and that's when they'll spring their trap.
I definitely like this discipline coming in from St. Clair, not trying to find those picks, but just waiting for them to get into your crosshairs. We see JP onto the front side angle, and both West Virginia players still playing a bit disconnected. Everyone is in very, very good spots for St. Clair, and we can definitely make something happen together.
Yeah, they just have to play off of contact of each other, though, and so far that's not what they've been able to do. It's going to be Taiga that gets picked off first, and now Excite just looking through the spawn angle is now Instinct slowly creeping around. Will I was gonna say the composure pay off? Yes, it will. Huge one tap, and now St. Clair, they have to be on the move. They're not playing off of contact correctly. 3, 2, 1, something, ladies and gentlemen, but no. Instead, in a 2v4 scenario, give West Virginia 4 uncontested 1v1s isolated. That is not a recipe for success, Lello.
So much disconnection coming in from St. Clair. I do believe Instinct had to draw as much towards him, and that slow walk coming in from CT just gave West Virginia the time that they needed to find where the other St. Clair players are playing and get those picks and leave JP with the operator trying to retake alone in a 1v2 situation. We see Excite being so incredibly good for these 1v2 scenarios. Tillo throwing the eye through showers was correct, yes, but just getting as wide as he did, I'm not sure what the plan was as Tillo and Seth both fall.
I think you're really starting to see the mental mistakes really start to pile up. I think losing that 2v4, I mean, you talk about the straw that breaks the camel's back. That had to have been the moment for St. Clair. I think West Virginia has that mental advantage. They have the skill advantage. I mean, this really is their map to lose at this point, and with the way they've been playing, I can't see that happening. JP does add a pick onto Excite, but that's only going to be a passing, just something passing, as West Virginia, another half where they dominate. 11-1 on Lotus, 10-2 on Bind. What more could you say?
Definitely looking hard for St. Clair. We saw some glimmers of hope coming through from those early rounds, but again, just classic mistakes, leaving yourselves isolated, giving West Virginia those 1v1s is just not what we want to do. With a team as disciplined as West Virginia and how they're communicating and playing together, we need to play as a unit. We need to play together to try and find success.
Right, but I mean, I think it's building off of what Evan was saying. Eventually, we know St. Clair in the past, they are a team where sometimes they dig themselves their own grave, right? They start making stupid mistakes, not calming correctly, just taking gunfights to try to find a sparkle of something quick relief to get yourself back in. And what are you met with? Well, with a team that has comms running smooth as butter, it's not going to go through very easily. Is now West Virginia waiting off of this wall going up, and immediately they play off of contact so well, and with the frenzy, Excite's going to be able to find the first onto Seth.
Again, even in a pistol round, the proactivity coming in for West Virginia is so perfect. We see the Brimstone and the Reyna walking in through short is just able to find the pick onto Seth in such an unfortunate position. Yes, JP gets the backstab, but still 2v4 situation. Taiga able to find 2 kills with the classic, leaving JP in a much more winnable position.
It's definitely a winnable situation for JP, but you worry about, like you said, the mental aspect of this. JP, you know, it is winnable, but with the way West Virginia's been playing,
30 seconds left.
You have to think that they have something planned. Is JP able to TP back to the other side of the map, but Dinks waiting and is rewarded for his patience. Man,
we see Dink's awareness just shining that round, breaking that trip that JP had put near A link and just instantly rotating back through A, reading that JP would TP and try and get the bomb planted towards A was just beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, again, right, you got to think JP with the headhunter there going to try to reposition back to where his utility was, right? I mean, that's definitely where his comfort is, but read out completely through by West Virginia is now setting up early is going to be Guk with some early Brim Smokes potentially going down here to try to keep St. Clair away and delayed on this push through A main. Is now one up on boxes, but Excite knows and has heard the hop up. It's going to be the first man who shows through, and it's an easy pickup for Instinct. Or sorry, a pickup on Instinct for Excite. Is now St. Clair. They really have to try to push the tempo. JP, a wall bang with the headhunter through to Excite as he finds the refrag, but his efforts are going to be left traded back out as Seth is going to fall next for St. Clair. They do get the spike planted though, and now it's retake for West Virginia.
I was about to say 4v3 scenario, and it just instantly turns into a 4v2 with such weaponry like the Judge and Vandals coming through for West Virginia. St. Clair isn't able to do much. Again, we leave ourselves isolated. We're not being proactive with what we want to take after the spike has been planted, and West Virginia, picking us off one by one, is just able to pick up the clean round. 12-2 for West Virginia.
And they make it look so easy as well. I mean, these haven't been like, you know, just West Virginia scraping by or winning a 1v1 or a 1v2. These have been dominant half or round wins from them. They have absolutely looked like the better team in all facets of this series. And St. Clair, quite frankly, I mean, it's disappointing to see. I think we were expecting a much more even matchup, but everybody on the side of St. Clair just coming out cold. I mean, you can take a look at the stat line and see it for yourself. I mean, everybody in the negatives on the side of St. Clair, just nothing going right for them, but good start to the round. Is it too little too late, though? I think yes.
Yeah, as you were saying it, 2 kills coming through for West Virginia, and they just instantly make it even. Yes, JP and Seth were able to find those 2 picks close to short, but again, my Showers players just getting caught out in such an awkward situation. JP getting a pick near spawn, but Spike has been left towards B. We might see a pivot here, just leaving JP alone, just his presence having to force West Virginia to do something to clear him out and get the spike planted towards B, make West Virginia's retake that much more awkward.
I was going to say, maybe as you have the retake come through, it was going to be awkward, but now Guck, with a Vandal in hand, has picked it up near CT side, is now able to walk his way through, and he is behind all of St. Clair. They have no idea where he is. However, maybe Instinct has a little bit of a note, and now as the comm comes through, they should know where JP is as well. The wallbang potentially from Guck, but he's in a 1v2 scenario and he needs to act quick. Crossfires, he's gonna find one. No way does he get the second spring through the wall. He needs to try to engage this. Time running low, and you need to find the kill, but he gets the wallbang. Such composure. And I believe there was enough time on the clock as West Virginia are going to seal the deal.
13-2 for West Virginia, and as you were saying, just absolute dominance coming in from every player. I do believe even in individual moments, we've seen every player of West Virginia shine in some way, make unwinnable scenarios just look so easy. They do it with such precision every time that it brings out glaring mistakes in St. Clair's positioning and just how they wanted to play off of each other that match.
Stunned is the look on the faces of the team. They are just absolutely shocked at what just happened. Disappointing for sure, but definitely a head scratcher as St. Clair just gets absolutely dominated by West Virginia. 13-2 on Bind, 13-4 on Lotus. I mean, just an absolute wash of a series. Take this VOD, flush it down the toilet. I mean, you just got absolutely dominated. We're going to check some replays. I mean, this is a West Virginia highlight reel right here, but still some solid plays from our Saints sprinkled in, but mostly West Virginia plays. Guck as well. I mean, can we talk about how crazy Guck was going, especially near the end of Bind? That 1v4 was absolutely insane.
And even Excite just playing so consistently. I was thinking about it going into this match, the Reyna pick being, as you said earlier, just ballsy, but he just made it look easy, just getting so many picks, getting like so much space for his team, even on not a heavy movement agent, was so massive that just brought West Virginia so many rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I think you talked about it. If you didn't bring it up, I was going to. It's the space created by your duelists sometimes. You don't need your duelist all the time to pop off on kills. So long as they're creating space and calling the site to be taken, that is where West Virginia is thriving, is with their controlled aggression through the Reyna. Excite doing a really good job there, just making sure he had the first bit of information, led the team through, and gave them all they needed to know when executing on sites, as West Virginia closed that one out in dramatic fashion. Guck on a beautiful 1v3 through CT side, picking up the Vandal. I mean, you're seeing it right now. It was nothing short of beautiful.
And we're watching some of these highlights back, and it just looks like every instance of a 1v1 or like a West Virginia player swinging on a Saint, they're just a half second behind. It's like that reaction just isn't there. We're so used to seeing St. Clair just with these snappy reactions. You know, we're so used to seeing them winning these 1v1 fights, and just a half second behind in almost every situation, looking lost, I'd say, quite frankly, in most situations.
It's definitely that proactivity aspect that West Virginia had that we unfortunately lacked a lot of tonight. I think with how West Virginia wanted to play each round, they had a plan. They knew exactly where they wanted to go, what they wanted to do, and how they wanted to play each post-plant scenario. And I feel like St. Clair, we didn't have as much structure when it came to that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, it's honestly the same thing that you were going through, Evan. You were talking about how reactions were just almost a half second too slow. And I think, yeah, you know what? When you're losing that many rounds, you said Lotus was an absolute dog walk as well. When you're off the back of so many round losses, mental shock starts to happen. Comms start to slip through. I can immediately tell, right? If I'm wrong, then something's got to be going wrong in the headsets of St. Clair, because we are not taking 3-2-1 swings when we have crossfires happening and man advantage. What is going on there in that 4v2 on B site? What is going on there in that final 3v1 on A, right? There is no reason in this high of skill that players should be letting rounds like that slip through the seams. And they have time to play around with too. Mind you, Guck has to, again, still counter defuse, right? If JP just doesn't swing out from green boxes there for another, what was it, 1.1 seconds?
Give or take, yeah.
Give or take, right? Keep the composure, play off each other's contact. If somebody wants to swing out, make a 3-2-1 happen. But even then, I think you just play for time. You have to play for time in that scenario. And don't get me wrong, you know, it's hard for me to criticize because, yes, I'm not a pro player, nor am I anywhere even near being as good as these players, right? But that being said, I think you then need to just talk about how Guck played the scenario, and that was simply perfect.
Yeah, just absolute perfection, baiting out the swing from JP and finding the kill onto him and still getting onto Seth. As we see our stats coming through, heartbreak from St. Clair's side. JP going 12-14, yes, leading St. Clair in kills, but still going negative. Instinct 9-13, Seth going 6-14, and 6 kills going down from Seth, Tillo, and Taiga. Whereas on West Virginia, we see Guck finding his breakout game, going 18-7 on the Brimstone. Such a supportive role. Usually you see Brimstones hanging back, but Guck just finding so many picks, still being able to top frag the lobby. Dink, yes, got more kills, but Guck just finding those engagements, finding those impact kills that were able to speedrun West Virginia towards those wins.
It's never a good sign when more than half your team is in the negatives and the single digits for picks. I mean, Taiga died every round. I mean, that's like, you can't, you know, foster any sort of success when you just can't keep your team alive. And it's undisciplined, right? Like you were talking about that 2v4 that they ended up losing, that 3v1 at the end there. Like, these are all situations that on a regular week the Saints would be able to handle easily, but this week, just undisciplined and unprepared. I think that's the story of the games today, and West Virginia just came in the better team, and they proved it.
I think too much of a break might have hurt our Saints a little bit, especially if they spent that time scrimming and maybe looking back on past VODs of their teams that they were going up against next. We could have found some more success. We could have found those kinks in their armor, but yeah, just mistakes coming in from every side. Man,
I mean, I want to ask, right, because I came through obviously a little bit later as we wrapped up the COD side of things, which I will go ahead and tell you right now. 3-0 sweep over Conestoga.
Oh,
just
perfect.
We're the Kings of Canada. We always have been. You know what I mean?
We got something tonight at least.
Yeah, we get something tonight. Just some good news from there. But going back onto the dark side of things, right? I mean, Lotus. Tell me if you guys could summarize Lotus, because I heard it was an 11-1 half. I mean, that game looked so dominant for West Virginia. How do you even, like, get worse than that, which Lotus clearly sounded like it was?
I think the biggest problem was St. Clair didn't take their first time out until they were already down 9-1 in the first half.
Yeah, that's tough.
They have a tendency to do that, where sometimes they don't feel like they need to take the timeout early because, you know, it's fine. They'll bounce back. But I think that really hurt them in the long run. You already got behind the 8 ball way too much. You're already tilted. You're already starting to lose that grip. And at that point, it was way too late. I mean, it was 13-4. They were able to string together some rounds in the second half. But again, at that point, you're already on match point. Like, it's way too late. Like, the chances of mounting a comeback, next to impossible.
I think if I had to describe how West Virginia played Lotus, I would use only one word, and that is textbook. So many set plays came through from every side. On every player, they just played so proactively. They did things together, and they knew exactly what everyone wanted to do, where everyone needed to be, and they just pulled it off perfectly.
Absolutely. I mean, not much more to say, I think, from either of us on the desk here. Just disappointing from St. Clair all around. I mean, not really much more to add. So I think we will just wrap this one here. A disappointing end to the stream, but that's okay. We'll bounce back next week against Winthrop, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think, you know, we were talking about it before. Lel, you wanted to wrap it up tonight. I'm going to leave it to you to do the sponsors.
All right. Thank you so much. I would like to say thank you to our sponsors, Alienware, Tim Hortons, Subway, the SRC, the St. Clair Alumni Association, and Onezo, and, of course, our newest sponsor, the amazing heat packs over at Pre-Fire.
Shout out.
Shout out Pre-Fire.
Shout out Pre-Fire. And what do we say every time? Thank you, sponsors.
Look at him, he's already picking up everything.
It's perfect. Prodigy. You want to do the outro too?
Oh, whoa. Outro as well? Okay.
Hell yeah.
Well, good night. Coming here from Windsor, Ontario and St. Clair.
It's like, shut up.